Hey guys, what's going on? It's your old pal Morbid Matsky here. Haven't been on in a little while. Been dealing with a lot of personal things that have been really taking up a lot of time and been pretty draining. Just haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of videos lately, but there is something I wanted to jump on here and address. There's been a lot of talk recently regarding the Jason universe and the whole Friday the 13th franchise with lots of information. You know, we have the new Crystal Lake series that is coming out in the fall. And there was some recent announcements with the Jason universe partnering with Stryker Entertainment, doing a bunch of things, and they specifically mentioned Friday the 13th, the game. So a lot of people were sort of speculating that they might be going back to this game, or you know, maybe they're remastering it, or they're going to jump back into it, which is, it's kind of exciting news, sure, if that were actually the case, but we don't really have any concrete evidence at all that they're going back to that original game. I know a lot of people think it would be you know, a good idea to do, because there's been so many of these other games that have come out, you know, since, like Evil Dead. There's been Killer Clowns, there's been Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and all of them kind of aren't doing all that well. They seem to be kind of you know, not as successful as Friday the 13th the game was. You know, it's still pretty much Dead by Daylight leading the way, I would say, with all of their constant licensing updates and whatnot, with new characters and survivors and all the rest of it. So a lot of people are excited about the idea of getting Friday the 13th the game back. And then of course there is the other thing that has been sort of going on for the last 2 years. You guys may have remembered I shared a couple of articles. One was Rely on Horror. I can't remember the other one offhand, but it was basically saying Harry Manfredini, the composer of the Friday the 13th franchise, for the most part anyway, as far as I know, he's done pretty much everything. He is composing a new video game, according to his information he put out a couple of years ago. And we've all kind of been sitting around going, well, when are we going to get information on this new game, right? And we haven't really heard much of anything, so don't really know if that's going to happen or not, or what. You know, it really wasn't reliable enough in info, so we're kind of waiting to see if something is going to come out, or maybe they are doing a remaster of the original game, because again, it was really successful and a lot of people seem to be missing it. But my personal take on it, I just don't think it's very feasible for them to jump back into that game, you know, since it's been pretty much dead. It's been delisted, it's not being sold anymore, all the rest of it. I mean, sure, they could do a remaster, that would be really cool, you know, I would certainly be behind it, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high for something like that. It makes far more sense to me that they're doing a new game, kind of like Harry Manfredini suggested a couple of years ago, like I said. So really all I'm doing in the meantime is just, you know, keeping an open mind about it, and really waiting for Friday, June the 13th, which will be coming up pretty soon here. Hey guys, so I was just in the middle of editing this video and I realized I didn't ever give my opinion on the new look Jason that has been going around. That some people were saying, oh, it's AI, and then I hear it's by Greg Nicotero. I'm talking about this image here. I'll put it up. Yeah, my first impressions are the mask looks just totally ridiculous. You know, I love Greg Nicotero. I'm not putting him down at all. He's an incredible makeup artist. But that being said, I don't know if he's the best person to, you know, redesign Jason. I think for me it's really important that he maintains a certain look. You know what I mean? That pretty much every film has been honoring, I guess, because he's always had the same drill hole pattern in the mask. Like basically from 3 right up to the end, that whole pattern was the same. And I think it's a part of Jason's essence. For me, I just think like the shape of the eye holes, there's a certain menacing dead look behind that mask, and I think
the eye holes play a key part in that, and I think the drill holes, it's like his signature. You can make the mask look however you want. They changed the shape a bunch of times and the whole design of it, but they kept some things consistent. And I think that is part of Jason's identity. Like, it really is. Like, I get the idea of, well, why don't we try something new? And what? Oh, okay, I hate the idea. I don't like the gigantic eyebrow look across the front either. That's crazy. He also looks to me like he's a little over 6 feet tall, maybe exactly 6 feet, and about 100 and maybe 80 pounds, and just, you know, he's got that perfect V, broad shoulders, skinny waist. Like, it's just not the kind of body type I've always pictured Jason. I feel like Jason should be a larger man, like somebody who's a little bulky, not chubby, but burly, like big, but not freakishly big either. I think it's a mistake when you go with somebody who's like 6'6", 6'8", 280 pounds. Like, that's crazy. Okay, I think he should be the size of like a large man. You know, like not your typical guy. Like, I think his perfect size is like probably 6'3". That's taller than a lot and pretty big. And 250 pounds, like basically CJ Graham's size from Part 6. I feel like that kind of build is like, he's big and solid and intimidating, but he's not so big you're like, what the hell is this? Like the circus, you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, that's a big dude. I think that's the perfect size for Jason, to be honest, and he should be more that body type. Like, I don't care how you dress him. I don't care what you really do to the mask, as long as you maintain those elements. Like I said, the eye hole shape, I think, is pretty important. It's really kept a fairly consistent look. Anyway, and the drill hole pattern, I think, is definitely key there. So I would like to see them keep that look if they're gonna actually go through with it. I hope they don't stick to the whole 13 holes thing, because it's Friday the 13th. It's like, I get it, but you're screwing with his identity, man. You know. Don't even get me started on Freddy. That's a whole other thing I still want to talk to you guys about. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in about how the new Jason looks. Again, I love Greg Nicotero. Nothing but love, buddy. But that design, man, that's not Jason. We got to have Jason if we get him back. He's got to feel like our Jason. And, even the reboot, that was still like our Jason. They did a pretty good job there. I didn't hate that. Anyway, get back to the original video.
And I'm quite confident we're going to get some kind of announcement, so hopefully we'll get some clarity. Hopefully there'll be some news about a new game or a remaster of the old game or something, and we'll have some more answers by then, because right now everybody's just speculating. I know Slash and Cast, Riley did an interview with Larry Zerner recently, and he gave his take on it as well, and Larry, in his opinion, was saying that he figures likely there's going to be a new game, and it's probably not going to be any remastering or anything like that. He certainly hasn't heard anything about that. So really, I think what we need to do is certainly wait for that always historic date, Friday the 13th, just to see, because you know how much they like to drop information on that. There is also the upcoming summer camp game, which is basically supposed to be an homage to Friday the 13th, the game. If you've seen any of the screenshots or anything like that from it, you'll see it looks very much like Friday the 13th, the game, with a few things changed here and there, I'm sure to avoid any lawsuit action or anything. So we'll see how that all pans out. I actually have a beta I was sent via email for this game, but of course when I signed up for it, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a console game or not. And right now it's looking like probably not. I know they have addressed that they want to do that, but it is very expensive doing console, especially with online multiplayer like that. So I guess we will see what happens in that regard with that game as well. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to touch that beta. I don't have a PC, and I'm not a Steamer, unfortunately. But I just wanted to give my thoughts. I think it would be awesome having a remaster. I personally hope they do it, but again, I don't want to get my hopes up. This game is pretty old, and they did you know, kind of abandon it and drop it. So I don't want to take too much speculation with them. You know, Gunn specifically saying they weren't going to be working on Texas Chainsaw Massacre anymore. Pretty much the same time the Jason universe released that they were partnering, you know, with Stryker, and they specifically mentioned Friday the 13th of the game. So I don't know if they mean a new game or a remaster or what, but all we can do is speculate at this point. But we can be hopeful, I suppose. But I'm going to wait until Friday, June 13th happens to speculate further, I guess. But let me know what you guys think about the whole situation in the comments. I'd love to get your thoughts, and we will see you soon for another one as soon as I'm able. So you guys take care, and we'll see you again.